Thank you very much. Okay, so IPK's World Travel Monitor is a worldwide unique data tool concerning the identification, characterization of world travel demand and representative population interviews around the globe. We cover 99% of Americans' demand, 99% in Europe of the travel demand, and 88% in Asia. Altogether, we make this survey in 64 countries of the world. And this is representative for 90% of the world market. We ask many things. You can see here a list of things which we try to find out, like purpose of trip, type of holiday, and so on, even internet usage, Google usage, and so on. So in total, we have in our questionnaire 900 items on our database. So the results I will present you now are compiled in February 2016. They are really fresh. Interviews have been done in the first week of February around the globe. Let's have a look at the World Economic Panorama 2015. There's a moderate global GDP development. That's meaning the world economy is growing, but it is not so fast as it has been before. However, it was 3.1% plus. India, in the growth rate, was bypassing China last year, and other areas did also well, except countries like Brazil or Russia. So what we do in our World Travel Monitor is that we measure what we call the world outbound travelers' consumption mood. What is their mood? Do they intend to travel more or less, to spend more or less, and so on? As you can see in our survey from February, that the consumption mood around the globe has very slightly improved. It's not going down, it's becoming better. But there are differences between the continents. In Asia, the travel mood was in autumn last year was decreasing a little bit, declining, but now it seems to stabilize on a high level. North America, we had a moderate recovery and in USA and Mexico, but weaker performance we expect in Canada this year. In Canada, it's very simple. It's due to the raw material prices. You know, they are down, as we used to say, in the cellar. Latin America is still in the recession, but some countries are doing better than others. You will see later results for them. European outbound travel consumption mood has slightly improved, and as you can see, it is steadily improving since 2012. It's going slow, but steadily improving. So let's come to the results 2015. What was the performance you will see after this very mixed economic situation? 2015 has been an excellent global travel year with a growth of 4.6%. By the way, last year, same time at this podium, my forecast was 4.5%. And UNWTO is now reporting 4.4%, so our forecast seems to be okay, and it was the same for the previous 3-4 years. However, what you can see here, the difference, you see 1 billion, 40 million trips, but UNWTO reports around 1.2 billion, but arrivals. And the background is our 1 billion trips are in general, they visit 1.15 countries. That's meaning not only one country, so they arrive in various countries. So overnight stays, it's very huge. That's meaning that each inhabitant of the world, in average, would spend 1.1 night abroad. growth plus 2%, and the length of the trips around the globe was 7.6 nights. It's still a slight decrease, but the decrease is not because people are traveling shorter, but the newcomers, like Chinese people, they tend to travel only 5 to 6 days, so the average goes down. Turnover, good result, plus 7%. And now the mean spending per outbound trip around the globe is $1,825 US. So on average, last year we had 50 million more trips, let's say also more clients in the business, and also high growth in spending. It's meaning the growth has needed 1 million more rooms, investment into 1 million more hotel rooms, has created 3 million new jobs, and the world GDP would have been grown only 2.7 if without tourism. So the tourism is a huge driver of world economy today. Top countries of origin are Germany, USA, Great Britain, China, and France. 85% of the global growth volume in number of trips came from only 10 countries. And the biggest growth last year was China and USA, each one contributing 8 million more visitors to international destinations. Also UK, Germany, and so on did quite well. You see also India here. The Indian market really seems to start now. It's on a very low level, but the growth rates are now high. It's meaning India is coming. European outbound travel was positive, plus 3%. And here you see the outbound markets in percent, the growth in percents. You see on top of growth was Poland from the European countries, plus 8%. Spain was doing well, and so on. Some of these countries, it's just recovery, like Spain or Ireland from the financial crisis. Others is a constant ongoing growth, like Poland. And we have some markets where there are problems, like Russia, Ukraine, Greece. You can understand. So where did outbound travelers go to in 2015? Most traveled to Europe. Europe still keeps about more than 50%, receives more than 50% of all outbound travelers, followed by Asia, North America. The top 5 destination countries around the globe are USA, Spain, Germany, France, and Italy. Top 3 metropolitan destinations around the globe. Number 1 is Paris. Number 2, New York City. And number 3, Bangkok. But I must say, if you see Chinese travel to Hong Kong and Macau as outbound travel, then Hong Kong is the destination number 1 in the world. It depends how you see, if you see it as a part of China or as independent countries. Metropolitan destinations number 4, 5, 6, you can see London, Barcelona, Singapore. 7 is Istanbul and Munich. By the way, Istanbul was decreasing and Munich was increasing. That's why they are now on the same level. We have Berlin with very high growth rates and Los Angeles. So why did people travel abroad? 72% is for holidays, then both 14% for business travel share and visit of friends and relatives. Holidays was up, business was total more or less stagnating, VFR was also increasing. So let's have a short look on world outbound holidays. Still, sun and beach holidays are the number 1, 28% of all international trips, with a slight increase. City trips continue to boom, plus 6% and now 24%. Then we have touring holidays and other types of holidays. In the business travel segment, the trend continues. Market share of MICE travel is increasing. Now we have 58% of the total business travel, and traditional business travel like visiting companies, selling, and so on, is still decreasing. Also, many trips are replaced by internet today. The MICE segments, you see conference and congress is booming, increasing. Trade fair did not so well, and also incentive travel was not so famous last year. Air versus ground transportation. Air transportation is still gaining market share, but ground transportation was also growing, was positive. Very interesting trends in global accommodation choice. Here you can see of all nights spent abroad, 61% have been spent in hotels. Only 61%, you might believe tourism, that's hotels. It is not. There's also a lot of para-accommodation, like holiday villas, flats, and so on. And there's accommodation not paid for if you stay with friends, and so on. And in the hotel sector, the biggest part is upper-class hotellery, 4- and 5-star. So for the first time in 2015, our World Travel Monitor, we reported the sharing accommodation question. And here you can see that it's all over the world the same. 5% of all paid accommodations have been booked via a sharing company like Airbnb, Vimdu, and whoever it is. But nevertheless, we must say this is not all couch surfing, because we have also today pensions and so on are sold by Airbnb. So we have actually a mix in this section. But 5%, that is the market share now on all continents. I spoke yesterday, I had an interview with a journalist from the United States, and she was very astonished because she believed it's only in USA. And I told her, listen, today with the internet, business is happening everywhere. And everywhere the people are on the same level. And that's what you can see here. Okay, used information sources. We connect to a Google presentation before. 78% goes via internet. Travel agency, 34%. Anyhow, this is what we call multiple answers. That's meaning the people look for information on different media. That's prior to going on the trip. Interesting is also 12% travel guidebooks. The market for travel guidebooks is increasing with the use of internet, as people need additional profound information. What kind of internet informational sources were used? So we have destination websites above all, accommodation hotel websites, transportation websites, reservation booking sites, travel blog forum, review sites, tour operator websites, and only at the end we have the social network. And I know many organizations in the world, they concentrate their marketing budget on social network. Social network is not selling very much. Choice of booking channels, internet on top, travel agency doing fine, and so on. So global outbound outperformers over the last 6 years were air transportation, city trips, 4- to 5-star hotels, and sharing accommodation. There are others, but these are really the performers, outperformers. So let's have an outlook. By the end of 2015, the global tourism industry has entered into great difficulties. And you can also see it in the turnover statistics for December, January, and so on. Not everybody is very happy about this year. And also, on a global base, the safety situation did not further deteriorate. What we perceive in our media is a drama and everything is going down, it's becoming dangerous, and so on. The world was not like that. Let's just have a look. The number of conflicts around the globe remained constant, was even decreasing, one war less, so it was a little bit decreasing. And 80% of this happens in areas where most tourists don't go. This doesn't happen in the big holiday destinations with very little exceptions. So nevertheless, what we have is this travel fear, I call it also travel angst 2016. Why did the travel world nevertheless fall into great unrest, actually? Terrorist threats and refugee crises close to major countries of origin have resulted in a new dimension of travel risk perception. As things have happened in Paris, as the refugees were flooding Germany and so on, people believe there's chaos and I cannot go anymore there. It's just a crazy mix in emotions that has created this travel fear, but it's an emotion which counts for business, of course. We have measured what's going on, where are the problems. So, you know, popular destination Turkey has become part of the terrible game in Syria. So, Turkey is receiving more than 20 million holidaymakers every year. What will happen? Where will these people go? Will they go back to Turkey or will they go to other destinations? Europe has been flooded by refugees, you know this. And where there is chaos, one cannot make a safe holiday. That is the simple conclusion of the people. And of course, the attempts in Paris, and before it has been Madrid, London, and so on. So is Europe still a safe destination? At least since the latest attacks in Ankara, Istanbul, Paris, and San Bernardino in California, many people question the most important prerequisite for relaxing holidays, the safety on site. And by nature, when there is a safety risk, you have an overreaction by people, an overperception, overreaction. So will the tourism market shrink this year, or will it only come to a shift? To whose advantage and disadvantage? As a consequence, will they change type of holiday or mean of transportation? So beginning of February, in our big survey, we have asked 50,000 people in 42 countries concerning their terror fear perception and travel planning. And we are covering with this survey 85% of international tourism demand. So here are the first results. Due to fear of tourism and so on, 40% of travelers might change their travel plans. But we can also say 60% don't change. This is a stable part of the business. But let's have a look on this 40%, why or what they are doing. 15% of them plan not to travel or to domestic destinations only. I can tell you the majority will decide, opt for domestic destination, but some will not travel. But the figure is not so high. And funny enough, in Asia, the terror fear is highest. Also in North America, in total world, 15%. The other 25% of the 40% who will be influenced will go outbound, but only to safe destinations. So what we might see this year is a big shift from one destination to another, and which will probably create big problems for certain destinations. Either no less tourists, or they can sell it only at a much lower price. That's what some destinations actually are trying now. So probably a major shift from unsafe to safe destinations. I cannot show all the countries to you, that's for our clients, but you see here, in the safe destinations, you see, for example, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, Denmark, Sweden, Austria. And on the unsafe side, you see Arabian countries, Turkey, Israel. And in between are the others. I should also say France is in a difficult situation. It's in the ochre-colored segment. So which consequences will the new fear have on tourism in 2016? We think for the first time in years, domestic travel could grow faster than international travel. Over the last 20 years, it was always international was growing fast, domestic, this can change this year. So the actual restraint of demand for international trips will decrease by time now with the distance to all these problems. Later that year, the market situation will normalize. Of course, if not, big, terrible things will happen again. But the recently lost growth volume can probably not be compensated anymore. People would like to travel in summer, but summer hotels will already be full. So this will have a negative influence on the general turnover. So what is I come to the end, what is our outbound travel forecast for 2016? We measure this forecast survey every 6 months in our World Travel Monitor in all countries, posing prospective questions regarding future intentions in Europe, South America, North America, and Asia. And after factoring in the global economic prognosis, we get the IPK Travel Confidence Index. And I will show you the figures. An index above 100 is meaning there will be increase. Around 100 is growth threshold. Below 100, decrease. So in 2016, Asians will probably do more international trips. Also, the increase will be less. You see the index is going down actually in Asia, but it is still positive, and positive with 4 points. India and China will drive Asian outbound growth once more. Also some other countries, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and so on. Japan seems to be in difficulties and will become a very difficult outbound market this year. North America, after a long recovery from financial crisis, North America was really down. It was steadily going up, but now in February, suddenly it's stagnating. It tends to stagnation. It's going down. There might be slight growth in USA and Mexico, but a decrease in Canada, also due to the low oil prices. South American outbound growth is weakening. It's weakening since October 2013. It's going down, but it's on stagnation. It's not negative. Marginal growth we can expect from Colombia, from Chile, Peru, and negative from Brazil, Ecuador, Uruguay. Despite terror fear, a moderate positive trend of the outbound travel can be expected for 2016 from Europeans. You see the index is on 102, which is in the growth field. And Europe is the biggest outbound market of the world. So your voting, you were rather optimistic, was really not bad. I asked me, why do we spend so much money for investigation if you know it already? Okay, so you can see here, most European countries, we expect a good outbound performance. Above all, you see the green countries here, like Belgium, Netherlands, Croatia, and so on. Weak performance we can expect from outbound trips from Greece, Italy, also Russia, but Russia seems to come to zero level now. So our World Travel Confidence Index will land on index 103. So further increase of global outbound travel can be expected, but due to the current fear, the growth will be 2% less than without this effect. So this terror fear is diminishing our growth potential. Without terror fear, a growth of 4.5% would be predictable again for this year. So our world travel forecast by continent, Asian outbound plus 4%, North America, South America, let's say the Americas stagnation, Europe positive, and the world 3%. Precisely, our database is actually on 2.7% in this index. So our forecast for this year is, let's say, around 3% plus. Terror or not, We expect another all-time high for global travel year 2016, but this time not outperforming the global economy. Thank you very much.